Hello and welcome to this special edition of ARIRANG News. It is Wednesday, November 9th. Live from Seoul, I'm Han Da-eun. We will bring you an extended live coverage on the U.S. presidential election along with other top stories. So make sure you stay with us till the end. So today, America chooses its next leader, and the world is watching the election results closely as it will have a big impact on almost every country worldwide. It is now 2 p.m. here in Korea, and according to most U.S. news outlets, Trump is leading by 228 to 209. Now let's bring in our Kwon Jang-ho to give us the numbers in detail. So Jang-ho, we were expecting it to be a tight race, but seeing the results so far, I must say I'm pretty surprised at just how close it is.
You're right, Han. Let's start with the big picture. The last polls closed about an hour ago, so now it's all about totting up the votes. So far, 40 states have been called with projected results, and Donald Trump is leading Hillary Clinton by 228 to 209 electoral votes. Now, to become the next president of the United States, you need 270 of the available 538 electoral votes, and that's the magic number. And as you can see, we are now getting very close to it. But there's still several swing states to be called. And as you can see, marked here on the map here in yellow.
All right, Chang-ho, so 270 electoral votes are required for a majority, and so far, Trump is leading a 228 to 209. Now, to help our viewers get a clearer picture of the results, could you explain to us how many states each candidate has won and in which areas, including the key battlegrounds?
Sure. Now, the electoral votes are divvied up among the 50 states, and as you can see here. And so far, Donald Trump has won 24 states out of and Hillary Clinton has won 16. But it's not about how many states you win, it's about which states. And there are many states that are suspected strongholds for the respective parties, but it's several swing states, states that could go either way, that hold the key. Now, the first big swing state victory was in Florida today, and there Trump squeezed Clinton with only about 130,000 votes. It was a significant win for Trump, and it was considered the largest swing state, with the number of electoral votes at 29, and it was a good start for him. Clinton pegged back to her own swing state with Virginia, with 48% of the vote there, taking 13 electoral votes. But the swing state of Ohio was called for Trump, and that added another 18 electoral votes to his total. And at the moment, that seems to be the pattern. Many swing states are still to be declared at the moment, such as Nevada, Iowa, and Michigan, and the counts suggest more of them are swinging towards Trump than Clinton. In fact, just about an hour ago, the New York Times forecast a 95% win rate for Trump. Although it's still a little too early to declare a winner, it looks like we could be heading for a Trump presidency.
Well, Chang-ho, the presidential race may be dominating the headlines today, but elections are also being held in many states for seats in the Senate and House of Representatives. Now, I hear Republicans are on track to retain control of the House. Could you tell us a bit more about that before you go?
Yes, Dan. So elections were held in 34 states for Senate seats and for 435 seats in the House of Representatives. Republicans look set to retain control of the House, meaning they will hold on to their power over the country's legislative process. The party that controls Congress has a lot of control over policy making, and that will be a huge factor in the next president's ability to govern. So, for example, if Hillary Clinton wins, but the Republicans remain in control of the House, they'll have the power to block Clinton's agenda, as they have done with President Barack Obama. Republicans currently hold the balance of power in both the House and the Senate, and Democrats have been hoping to turn the tables in both chambers today, but that looks unlikely.
Well, thank you, Chang-ho, for that comprehensive update. I can't wait to find out the final results. We'll bring you more updates as they roll in, and we'll also have an extensive coverage on the U.S. election analysis as well as its impact on Korea. So make sure you stay tuned to ARIRANG TV throughout the day. Now, this election is turning into quite a white-knuckle ride. Now, before we turn our focus to the future with a new occupant in the White House, let's now get a look back on the campaign that was. The 2016 campaign has been one of the most contentious in recent U.S. election history, and our Oh Jung-hee has a wrap-up.
Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton announced her second run for the White House back in April 2015, and Donald Trump declared his candidacy just 2 months later in June. Hillary Clinton, who has spent 31 years in public service, came into the campaign promising to unite the nation, fight for equality, and ensure Americans were stronger together. She promised to expand affordable health care, institute equal pay, and increase the federal minimum wage, while also promising to get rid of unfair trade deals. The current president and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama have provided their full support, using their popularity to campaign on behalf of her at rallies across the country. On the last day of campaigning on Monday, Clinton reiterated her belief in America's promise.
I believe America's best days are still ahead of us. Because when your kids and your grandkids ask you in the future what you did in 2016 when everything was on the line, you'll be able to say you voted for a stronger, fairer, better America where we build bridges, not walls.
Donald Trump, who was already a well-known reality TV show star before he became a presidential candidate, offered to make America great again, using the slogan that would become like a mantra for his America First policies that would prioritize the interests of the American people. Trump has criticized his rival as corrupt and the current administration has failed, saying that tens of thousands of jobs have been lost and the country's economic infrastructure weak. At a rally in Pennsylvania on the last day of his campaigning on Monday, Trump told his supporters that the ballot they cast the next day would be, quote, the greatest vote they ever cast in their lifetimes.
You have one magnificent chance to beat this corrupt system and to deliver justice for every forgotten man, every forgotten woman, and every forgotten child in this nation. It will be the greatest vote you ever cast in your lifetime. And yes, we will make America great again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
The past year and a half has not been smooth sailing for the candidates, and both have had their share of controversy. Trump was caught on tape making lewd comments about women, and several women came forward to accuse him of sexual assault. He caused a firestorm of controversy after he said in the last presidential debate that the election was rigged. Clinton has been dogged by questions about her health, criticism for her basket of deplorables comment, and questions about her trustworthiness related to the FBI's investigation into her use of a private email server while she was Secretary of State. On Election Day, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump both joined the general public at their local polling stations in New York, where they will be later when the election results are called. Until then, the votes are being counted, and the year-long race is now about to wrap up. 오정희, 아리랑 뉴스.
The race to the White House will certainly have a huge impact on many other nations, and Korea is no exception. The Finance Ministry says the government will work to maintain a market stabilization regardless of who wins the U.S. presidential election. During a meeting of finance-related officials Wednesday morning, Vice Finance Minister Cha Eun-taek said, although it is a bit too early, excessive volatility in the market isn't desirable, and that the government will take action to curb volatility if needed. He added that exchange rates will be affected no matter who wins. The trade protectionism shown by two candidates is seen as a potential downward risk to the global economic recovery. As the financial markets monitor the election result, shares in Korea dove 2.93%, falling to their mid-1940s level as of 1:30 p.m. local time, while the tech-heavy KOSDAQ fell nearly 6%, dropping to 587 points. Turning now to domestic politics, which is just as dynamic. The three main opposition parties are working to unify their stance on President Park Geun-hye's proposal that they choose a candidate for prime minister. The opposition leaders agreed that the only way to deal with the fallout from the scandal gripping the nation is for President Park to relinquish control over affairs of state and hand full authority to the new prime minister, effectively signaling her resignation. They slammed the president for not fully clarifying the scope of authority she would give to the new prime minister. They also said she was trying to evade responsibility with some stopgap measures and urged the president to give up her ruling party membership. President Park indicated yesterday that she would hand control of the cabinet to a prime minister recommended by the National Assembly. On a similar note, the presidential office also appears to be having a difficult time defining the prime minister's role and responsibilities. The president's senior secretary for politics made another visit to the National Assembly again this morning to sit down with Assembly Speaker Cha Eun-taek and further explain the president's stance on the new prime minister's role. Cheongwade said all possibilities are being considered, including allowing the new prime minister to set up his or her own cabinet, and that everything should be discussed at a meeting between the president and political party leaders, which the top office is trying to arrange in the coming days. Meanwhile, a key figure in the ongoing Chessington scandal, Cha Eun-taek, was detained last night and questioned until the morning. He is expected to undergo another round of questioning today, and prosecutors are likely to request an arrest warrant for Cha within the next 48 hours. Lee Ji-won has the latest.
State prosecutors questioned music video producer Cha Eun-taek, who has close ties to Chessington, for around 4 hours on Tuesday night. He is currently being held in a jail cell. Cha had been in China since the scandal broke and was detained upon his arrival at Incheon International Airport. Speaking to reporters at the airport, Cha said he was sorry for causing such a stir and vowed to reveal everything during the prosecutor's investigation. He also admitted to knowing former key presidential secretary An Jong-bum, but didn't answer a question about his ties to Choi Soon-sil, the key figure in the ongoing abuse of power scandal rattling the nation. Cha is believed to have been deeply involved in the establishment and management of two government-linked foundations that were controlled by Choi, who allegedly forced Korean conglomerates to donate huge sums of money to the organizations. He's also suspected of embezzling funds from an advertising company he ran and is accused of attempting to extort shares from a separate advertising firm formerly affiliated with steelmaker POSCO. Cha is expected to undergo another round of questioning Wednesday, and prosecutors are likely to request an arrest warrant for Cha before the 48-hour emergency detention period expires on Thursday night. Lee Ji-won, ARIRANG News.
And that does it for now. I'll be back with more headlines at 4 p.m. Korea time. Thank you for watching.